Thank you, thank you. Thank you for joining us tonight.
It's a beautiful night with beautiful subscribers.
Hey, it's Saturday night.
And the winner is
All right, welcome back to the Great Take podcast, guys. I'm Letterbox Lenny, joined by my co-hosts Joe and David, and today we are going to be discussing our top films of 2025. Uh, Again, thank you for supporting the podcast. Comment, just comment anything, discuss. If you want to be on the podcast, even let us know. We'll see if we can make it work. And yeah, let's get into the podcast.
All right, let's do it. We want to start with okay. How about David? You start. What was your number 10? What was your like 10th favorite movie that came out this year?
Oh, good question. Good question. I think hot take, but uh, this is a movie I actually saw with Bobby. Um, Eddington was a movie I was highly excited for. Um, we ditched a party to go to this movie,
Nice.
and honestly, I was not a big fan of it. I wish we had the pod when this movie came out because man, could I have talked about this guy? Um, just kind of COVID setting, so just kind of getting the PTSD from that era a little bit, and just kind of that kind of played a factor into it a tiny bit.
Yeah.
But just not excited with or not happy with, kind of the uh just the pacing of the movie. The It just felt incredibly slow. For sure had a slow burn up until what was it, the last 30 minutes of the movie, when maybe even less, maybe like 15 of that. Um which I was, super disappointed about. But yeah, I think Eddington comes in dead last for me. Out of the 11 of the 10 that I've watched, but we're only
Okay.
ranking 10. So,
Yeah.
um, and then what about you guys? What was y'all's number 10?
Yeah, Bobby, what did you have?
So I think one important piece of context here is the number of movies watched in a year. David, you said you would watch 11, new
Yeah.
2025 movies this year.
Yeah. At the
I
theaters. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're doing only in theaters, right? Like we've seen only in theaters.
Or not necessarily, because
Okay.
or just that came out like this year.
Came out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Ooh.
have some that I didn't see in theaters,
Okay.
including my number 10, which is out of 15 total watched this year. So I still think of this movie positively. I have Alex Garland's Warfare as my
Nice.
number 10.
Mm.
Uh, it's a movie based on, real stories from veterans from Iraq. Really tells a very, I think, real story in terms of war and the war in the Middle East in the 2000s in particular, which is something that resonates with me, having had or having some family members that have fought over there. I thought it was a good movie. Yeah, it was good. Very realistic, very kind of sobering depiction of war. Thought it was good. I think maybe it kind of lacks maybe like an epic scale that you would see in some other movies, but I think that lends itself quite well to the story that is being told in this movie. So that's my number 10. It's Warfare.
Nice. Yeah. I never saw that, so that's cool to like hear about it. I didn't even really know what it was about. So that sounds interesting. Kind of want to watch it. My number 10. It's actually a movie we all saw together. Similar to Bobby, this is out of like I think 15 or 16 movies. So all these movies I like, and this including this one, and it's Nuremberg. Um,
Mm,
Ooh,
yep.
actually,
yeah.
not a lot of people have seen this movie, it seems like, which I think is kind of a bummer because I thought it was like definitely a good watch, super interesting story. I kind of like learned a lot of details I didn't know about, the Nuremberg trials, how they started, kind of how difficult it was to, get them all set up in the first place. And there were obviously like, as we talked about, I know after we saw it, there's some like the tone can be a little like light, or there could be some weird like quippy, like almost like Marvel style like dialogue, which is like
Hmm.
whatever. But I actually it didn't, like I think with all of us, it didn't bother us too much. Like I feel like still it was effective movie, super entertaining. I thought Russell Crowe actually did a good job playing Goering. And then that one scene in the courtroom where they showed all the Holocaust footage, I thought was really kind of effective. Still
Mhm.
sticks with me. So, yeah, I'm sure we'll probably see more of this movie on your guys' list. But yeah, that was
Yep.
my number 10.
Awesome.
All
Do
right.
we want to go nine next?
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's do it.
Okay. Um, Bobby, how about you go?
Let
What
me
was
see
your
what I
number
have for
nine?
number nine. I have Mickey 17.
Oh,
Nice,
one of the
nice.
first movies that came out this year.
And I liked Mickey 17. I'll say, I forget the director's name. He's the same director that did Parasite, though. So I came in with very, very high expectations for this movie. And that being said, I was met with a solid sci-fi movie with some comedic aspects to it and some social commentary as well. That being said, I think the social commentary that was delivered was nowhere near as powerful or profound as that in Parasite. Uh,
Mm,
I think Robert Pattinson did an amazing job. I think there was amazing effects. That other dude did an amazing job as well. The guy from The Walking Dead, Mark Ruffalo as well. Some really powerful performances. Uh, I think maybe at certain points it was a little heavy-handed. I think Mark Ruffalo, they very much made a Trump clone as much as they could, which uh to me just didn't really resonate as well because it felt like a little too similar. You know what I
hmm.
mean? And it didn't feel necessary in terms of delivering the points that were delivered about, colonization, etc. So,
Nice. Yeah. Um, my number 9, it's the same movie actually. Also Mickey 17.
hey,
Yeah, nice.
Nice.
So coincided. Yeah, I think you kind of hit it on the head. I agree with basically everything you said. And especially because I feel like Bong Joon-ho, like all of his movies have kind of been, or at least most of the ones I've seen have been about, class and like power, people in power being greedy and unempathetic and all that. And this is kind of more of that, but kind of, it just kind of feels kind of like more of the same, but not as effective as he's done in the past, kind of like you said. So, but I still liked it a lot. It was cool. I liked the little like worm creeper things.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
definitely some cool, like memorable visuals. Still liked it overall, but yeah.
Mhm.
I think for my number nine, it's going to be a movie that we were just talking about off the pod. Uh, Anaconda, the new Paul Rudd, Jack Black movie, funny duo comedy movie. You don't get many of those anymore. Bring them back, you know.
Yeah.
The movie was kind of guerrilla style movie within a movie. They're trying to film um, a remake, or what they kind of mentioned is like a relaunch of the Anaconda movie that came out back in the 90s. Um, and which actually was first a novel before that.
Oh,
Um, yeah, you don't get that kind of style of comedy movies anymore. You know, it was a fun time being in the theaters. It was a Christmas Day movie that we watched with my parents, and so just kind of a family fun movie. A lot of action, still even though it's a family movie. Spoiler, a small little spoiler, but there is a real anaconda that's like the size of
Ooh.
really really huge that they find, and it does kind of eat one of the characters, and
Oh shit.
yeah. It's really funny. It still kind of keeps true to that like old style comedy that we used to get. So yeah, really recommend it.
Nice. Sweet.
Um, all right, looks like we're at number eight. What do you guys got as your number eight?
Joe, do
Uh,
you want to take this one?
yeah, sure, I'll start. I'll be quick since it was already brought up earlier too. I had Eddington at number 8. And I definitely hear where you're coming from, David. This one, I don't know, it's hard. With Ari Aster, like I like a lot of his movies, and especially parts from the last two, Beau is Afraid,
Hmm.
and this one, Eddington, I really liked. But I don't know. I feel like he really insists on it being like this feeling of like dread and kind of hopelessness throughout the whole movie, and I think it
Yeah.
works really well for horror. But like with Beau is Afraid and this one, where he's kind of trying to do comedy and seems like he's trying to do balance a lot of things at once. It kind of makes it just hard to watch. It feels like kind of unpleasant to watch the whole time.
Hmm.
I think it kind of goes off the rails a little bit at the end too, like with the whole shootout scene. It was just like really long of him, just shooting in the dark, in the streets of the town and all that. Yeah, I don't know. But the first half I like actually like loved. I thought it was like super funny. I liked a lot of the social commentary stuff. Um, it really made me kind of remember some of that, COVID era ridiculousness that,
Yeah.
I kind of forgot about like the specifics of. So I still definitely liked it overall. And I like that he like attempts to do these like big movies. Like I think his heart's in the right place, but just like, I don't know, I wish he had maybe one more person he was working with to kind of balance things out or hold him back just a little bit. Because sometimes it feels
Hmm.
like he overthinks so much or like gets so wrapped up in it that he takes things a little too far or goes a little too off in one direction that it doesn't all come together. So yeah, but overall still liked it a lot. What did you guys
Uh,
have?
this
I'm
is
gonna
for number.
Eight.
number
Oh,
eight.
you're on number eight right now.
Yeah.
D
Yeah.
you can go ahead, David.
I'm gonna go. My number eight is actually one of my favorite directors. Coming in at this one is a Phoenician Scheme.
Hmm.
Um, Super solid movie. Michael Cera, Benicio del Toro. Really fun film to watch. I think it was. I only ranked it eight because it was not as good as some of Wes Anderson's bigger, not bigger. I don't want to say better. Better is not the right word, but different projects. Thinking Grand Budapest Hotel. I'm thinking of Fantastic Mr. Fox. Those movies, just have a special place in my heart. And so I think definitely, kind of a little bit lower on Wes Anderson's filmography. But really solid movie that came out this year. One that I was really excited for to watch, and felt good watching at the movies. Bobby, what was your number eight?
My number eight is one that recently came out on Christmas Day. Marty Supreme, I have as my number eight. Which is not saying it's an average movie by any means. I think the highs are very high in this movie. In fact, I think the highs in this movie are even better than some of the highs in Uncut Gems. That being said, there's about 45 minutes of movie here that I really do not care for very much. At certain times, the movie feels a little aimless. And I understand both of y'all still have not seen this movie, so I won't get too into specifics.
Hmm.
But the middle of the movie, There's just a lot of story arcs that I feel like could have been cut, uh, that really kind of take away from those high highs. And then in addition to that, I'd say it's a little light on the ping pong aspect as well, which some of the best scenes in this movie are the scenes with Marty Supreme facing up against these guys. And I think for, a movie that's so centered around ping pong, you really only have a couple of those scenes, which I was a little disappointed by.
I'm curious. As the movie just came out, we've seen a bunch of promo with Timothy Chalamet. Do you guys have any like Bobby? This is a question for past you. Do you guys have any idea what the movie is about? Because
Uh,
the whole idea that I get is well, this is maybe a little bit off topic, but yeah, like it's a movie about ping pong, but then I feel like it's about him selling ping pong, which is kind of a reason why I want to go see it because I'm like, what is this movie about? But what did you guys think about a lot of this, the press and the coming out of the movie?
I think I thought I had an idea what it was gonna be like and what it was gonna be about going in, and it was maybe about 30% right. You know, I knew,
All right.
ping pong was gonna play a role. Uh, I don't know if I could talk about the ways that it wasn't what I expected without
Mm-hmm.
getting into spoiler
Yeah.
territory.
Hmm.
But
All good. All good.
Okay.
Yeah.
yeah.
What did you think, Joe?
Yeah, it wasn't entirely clear. From what I understood, just I know like he's sort of created some controversy just talking about how like crazy the movie is and how he feels like he should win an Oscar and all this stuff, and then doing a lot of these really big theatrical promotional stunts like him on the Sphere and like all
Mm-hmm.
this stuff. And from what I understand, it is based on how he's acted, like, his persona in the public eye. It seems like he's almost doing an extension of character in the movie. Like his Marty Supreme character, because at least in all the trailers, he just seems very confident, almost like cocky, very
Mm-hmm.
ambitious, and so the impression that I get about what it's about is just this super confident ping pong player
Yeah.
who, is really wants to win at all costs. But that's like about as much as I know. And I imagine, Bobby, that's probably around what you were thinking going into it. So
Yeah.
seems like maybe there's more to it that I don't know yet because I haven't seen the movie, but that's basically what I would assume based on the all the promotion I've seen so far. All right.
All right. What are we at? Seven now?
Seven. Yeah, you go,
Okay.
David. What do you got?
Um, I'm gonna go at my number seven. One that we've already talked about a little bit. Nuremberg. Um, but that was a really good movie. A lot of to what you said, Joe. The cast did really well. I was actually, it's funny. It's a little side story. I was actually looking, scrolling social media the other day, and I think we rate this movie the highest because when I was looking at comments of some reviews, people are really upset with the historical inaccuracies of this movie, and it's maybe a little bit more dramatic. And I know when we came out, we were like, "Oh man, yeah, what an awesome movie!" Versus everyone else is kind of like, "This movie sucked." As I'm like looking at it now, it's a 3.5 on Letterbox, which indicates pretty good. I think
Yeah,
we for sure have it like at 4.5. I think I at least have it at 4.5. I think you put it a little bit high around there. No, oh no, I think Bobby, it was you that put it around 4.5 as well. Um, yeah, no, all in all, really good movie. I think I for sure I knew about the Nuremberg trials, but I didn't know till how dramatic of a change and how much effect this had on not even just the history of the U.S. but history of the world and what kind of precedent it set for you know in the event of future world wars, if there ever is one. So yeah, and of course, like you said, Joe, like those, the chilling videos of the Holocaust, just kind of like, it puts things into perspective of what really went on. And I just think like my favorite part was Russell Crowe's character. Of course, he's the bad guy in it, but um, even though as a bad guy, you still kind of like him a little bit because he does have elements of like comedy in there. And I think paired with Rami Malek's character, they had an interesting character, an interesting relationship between the two. And I think they just played off so well off each other. Um, that's why it comes in at my number seven. What about you, Bobby? What's your number seven?
My number seven, and I think it may upset some people that it is only number seven. I feel like everyone I knew loved this movie, insane amount, is Weapons. I have Weapons as number
Mm,
seven. Uh, to me, Weapons was good, but I'm blanking on the director's name. He's also the director of Barbarian, which Barbarian may very well be my favorite movie of 2022. So I came into Weapons with high hopes. And that being said, I was a little let down, I think, by the middle of the movie. I think the initial kind of mystery of the and just want to check, both of y'all have seen Weapons?
I
I haven't seen it yet. It kind of slipped through my radar this year.
It's a good one. You should watch it if you can. So I won't get into too much of spoiler territory. Uh,
Honestly, I don't mind if we do spoilers.
uh all right, you're all good if I
Yeah, we'll put a big spoiler alert warning here. Warning, spoiler alert.
So I think the like initial mystery kind of around the disappearance of the kids is something that's very captivating
Mhm.
to a viewer. And I think the woman who played kind of the main villain in the movie, I think gave an incredible performance. It was great at seeming, kind of scary. I think the movie had some killer jump scares in it. That being said, a lot of the middle section, uh, and kind of the whole crazy chasing element to the movie really did not get much out of me. So yeah, I was a little disappointed by that. It still had, I think, some killer characters in it. I think the junkie character was awesome. Uh, but besides that, I didn't really care for many of the other characters besides maybe the main villain in
Mhm.
terms of somebody who really gets a rise out of you as a viewer. So yeah, still a really good movie. I recommend watching it to anyone if you want a good horror slash thriller movie. But it just doesn't measure up to Barbarian in my opinion. So yeah, number seven, Weapons.
Solid. Yeah, my number seven is this is kind of cheating, but like when we decided we were gonna do this top 10 thing, I was looking at my top 10. I'm like, man, I feel like there are only nine of these that I really like. So last night I'm like, fuck it, I'm just gonna watch like a movie that I've heard is good. So I watched this last night. It's this Iranian movie called It Was Just an Accident. And it's kind of like I didn't know anything about it really going into it, but the general uh, synopsis that it gave, even just when I was choosing the movie, said basically a man in Iran thinks he recognizes his former torturer, just like runs into him and is like kind of forced to decide what to do with this information. And again, I won't spoil too much, but really interesting movie. Way funnier than I thought it would be for like kind of heavy. It's kind of like almost like a dark comedy for most of the movie, and then the tone kind of ends up switching a few times in an interesting way. You definitely aren't exactly sure what's happening or like what the outcome's going to be the whole time, which I liked. Some really memorable characters and very like low budget. It seems like the guerrilla style filmmaking too. Like it seems like they just like brought a camera out into the streets, like didn't block anything off, didn't whatever. Like I'm sure they're like all the extras are just real people like living their lives. It feels very real. Um, Yeah, definitely worth checking out. There is like a climax near the end of the movie that didn't totally hit hard. It seemed a little bit abrupt, like this really abrupt change in the climax that like I don't know, felt a little out of character, I thought. And so that's the only reason it's not higher. But like most of the movie, I really liked. Would definitely recommend checking it out.
Nice. Yeah, I saw you review that today, and I was like, "Ah, I got to know what that movie's about."
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's good. Good. I haven't watched any like foreign movies yet this year, but I feel like if you're gonna watch one, this is probably a good one to watch. So
Is it all in Arabic?
yeah, I think it's in Farsi, I
Farsi? Okay.
believe. Yeah,
Damn.
yeah.
Yeah.
Is it on streaming or did you have to rent it?
No, I rented it. Um, it will probably be more widely available soon because I think it sort of still recently came out just like a month or two ago. So I rented it for like $10 or
Oh,
Oh,
something,
nice.
but it'll probably be
I
more
see.
accessible soon.
Well, thanks, Joe. That was awesome. I feel like
It sounds
this.
really interesting.
Yeah, I this was a low year for foreign movies for me to watch. I can't really say that I've watched many or any
Yeah.
really.
Yeah, it's the only one I watched, I think.
Yeah. I don't have any foreign movies on my list from 2025. I have watched some this year, but they've all been from previous years.
Mm,
Mm,
okay. Yeah.
gotcha. Um, okay, so now we're at six. Um, I'll go because I kind of want to group my, I don't know. No, actually, I think I'll do them individually. As both of you know, I'm a bit of a comics books nerd. Been following, a lot of the superhero films ever since. I think honestly, my first movie was ever that I remember seeing in theaters was Iron Man. So I've just kind of have a soft spot for Marvel, in my opinion. And as of late, for the movies that came out this year, I'm gonna group two movies. So this will be my sixth and fifth movie. I'll start with my sixth one coming out this year, early in the year. The movie Thunderbolts. It's got a pretty stacked cast. Let me pull it up. It's got Florence Pugh, Sebastian Stan, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, Louis Pullman, David Harbour, Wyatt Russell, just to name a few. Um, really good movie. One of probably watching Marvel movies in the last, especially like 2 years, has been kind of dull. Um, this one had a lot of more refreshing taste. You went into it kind of expecting like, oh, it's another Marvel movie, and I left coming out of it, wow, like I have never seen some themes and um, a lot of themes since the early Marvel movies coming into it, and so I'm kind of happy with this one that they leaned into a little bit more of a serious note. I feel like in the last couple of years, the movies have just been more cash grabs, and they try to inject as much comedy in them to the point where Marvel movies have felt like they just need a laugh track, right? They felt like those laugh track comedies, but this one was more of a dramatic comedy, more so drama.
Hmm.
So a really good movie. I think definitely worth a watch. It's one of those movies that you might need to watch a couple previous Marvel movies. I'm sure you can find a quick review on YouTube somewhere that summarizes. Um, and then the fifth one is the I think it's the second Marvel movie that came out later in this year. Fantastic Four, First Steps. Really good movie, highly anticipated. Satisfied. Honestly, it felt like reading a comic because I've read several hundred comics, especially those of like the Golden Age. Spider-Man, Fantastic Four. It just had that feeling of reading those comics again. Um, of course, Pedro Pascal and team kills it with their performances. It doesn't feel like that like 2000s Fantastic Four if y'all ever remember it. Um, it had the one with Chris Evans. This one felt like a fresh new take on the team. I was a little. worried going into it of like the thing, the rock guides. It's always tough, to see that pulled off. And I think Ebon Moss does a really good job of being, kind of a CGI character. Really solid movies. I think Marvel's back. I'm excited to see what they do with Spider-Man that comes out next year. I'm excited to see what they do with Avengers Doomsday that comes out next year. So I think they're finally back on the right track. So yeah, just wanted those were my two, 6 and 5. Um, but yeah.
Nice. Here, Bobby, you want to do like you do six and I'll do six, then you do five and I do five, something like
Mhm.
that, so that we could catch
Yeah,
up to David. Okay, sweet.
yeah. So number six, I have another one from Alex Garland, I believe. 28 years later, I have as number six. I think I'm a huge fan of the original 28 Days Later movie, so I had a lot of excitement coming into this one. And I'd say for the most part, I was not let down. I've talked with some other people who were disappointed by this movie, but I felt like it was really quite good as a zombie movie as well as just a movie in general. You kind of had that family aspect with in spoiler territory, the main character's mom who's dying of cancer in the movie, which I thought was, powerful emotionally. Then you also had, kind of the horror aspect with it as well, with, kind of the alpha zombie being this almost slasher-like villain throughout the movie. And the whole idea of the bone temple and all this crazy stuff. I'm super excited to see the part two for this movie when it comes out, which I think it comes out soon. And I really think it was a great movie. I'd recommend it to anyone who's a fan of zombie and post-apocalyptic movies, or anyone who just wants an interesting watch.
Nice. Yeah, I want to see that. I still haven't seen that. Hopefully I can get around to it. My number six was another A24 movie, one that I know got a lot of lukewarm reception, but I actually really liked it, and that's Materialists, with Chris Evans, Pedro Pascal, and Dakota Johnson. Kind of like a rom-com, but less comedic than I think it was kind of marketed, which seemed to have turned a lot of people off. It's a little more almost like a social commentary romance, but I thought it was really, I don't know, it was like fun to watch. I think it made some interesting points about how, with dating, people can be really unrealistic and have really high expectations for others that they don't apply to themselves. And like I was a little worried just like because the title of the movie and you know just sort of certain sentiments that it seemed to be conveying, that it might be sort of a negative, like, oh, all these superficial material things actually do matter, even though people like to pretend they don't, and blah, blah, blah. And that is kind of what, the initial part of the movie is about, but I think it kind of comes around and has a little bit of a more complicated message. That's like, yeah, they do matter, but if you don't actually like and have a connection with the person, they don't matter at all. It's like, it's complicated. There's a lot of things that have to fall into place. And but like the most important thing is that it's a genuine, connection, which I liked. And like I watched this movie on the airplane, and it was like the perfect airplane movie. Like definitely would recommend it for something like that. Just like light, not too serious, but yeah, I don't know. I enjoyed it.
Do you think rom-coms are back, Joe, or
I don't know. I'm not a huge rom-com guy, like in general. Like I've probably seen like five of them in my life, but I don't know. This one, maybe they should put Chris Evans in more non like super huge budget like whatever movies. I think he's like I thought he was really good in this. So yeah,
agreed, agreed. I think you guys are on number 5 now.
yep, yeah. Bobby, what'd you have for five?
It's been mentioned twice so far in this podcast. I have Eddington as number five.
Mm.
Nice.
Uh, I understand some people weren't big fans of Eddington. Me, I honestly I loved it. I thought it did a really good time of capturing the madness of the past however many years. I think not even just COVID. I think and I know Joe, you complained about kind of a sense of dread in the movie, which I think was very present, but I felt like it was very fitting with the subject matter. I think as you know, 2020s, we've seen a lot of people fall into kind of weird fringe movements, whether it's QAnon or something else. And even more kind of mainstream movements, we've seen kind of some more fringe ideologies present in to where I think this movie did a good job at kind of capturing that and kind of the social elements to it and the effects of kind of isolation and all that as well. And I really felt like it was a good movie. It was also really funny at times too. Uh, and it had some characters that you just hated, and some characters that you maybe kind of liked, and but really for the most part, you didn't like many. At least I didn't like many of the characters, which I thought was a good thing. Uh, and I think at the end, having I forget his name, but he was like the deputy that all the like messed up shit happened to him. I think having him at the end sniping the target, I think was crazy considering however many months ago, what do we see? We see, someone assassinated, prominent figure Charlie Kirk via sniping. And I
Mhm.
think it's kind of crazy, it kind of in some ways predicted the rise in political violence that we've
Yeah.
seen the past year or so, which I think I don't know. I like the movie a lot. I think it was a good movie.
It's
Yeah.
it's funny. Every time I get on Facebook, and I'm quickly trying to get to the marketplace, but those 5 seconds that I spend kind of checking some notifications, I feel like I'm in Eddington watching conspiracy
Oh,
theory.
Yeah.
For the like 5, 10 seconds I'm on there and trying to get to the marketplace.
Yeah.
same, bro. That's how I feel hopping on like X or Twitter or whatever
Yeah.
sometimes, man. I feel like you're hit with a wave of weird people believing
Hmm.
all types of weird stuff.
I can see them making a sequel to Eddington of just today's kind of like political climate, like you were saying, and instead of Facebook, it would be Twitter now. Just kind of the change in platform, but still that same like kind of like toxicity. It's just funny. It's just crazy how like and that was just like 5, 6 years ago, right? Like that
Oh
wasn't
yeah.
even too
Yeah.
long ago. It's like it's funny like we're watching like a historical drama of what only it was 5 years ago.
Yeah. No, yeah. There's no deny like he definitely like completely nailed like certain things, especially considering like the data center thing was because I think he wrote it like
Oh my
during
God.
COVID or directly at like that was like
Hmm.
ahead of its like that's the first movie I've seen like address data
Yeah.
centers and like the environmental impacts and then also just the impacts it has on these towns because there are all these towns in like the middle of nowhere and stuff. I thought
Hmm.
that was like really really interesting that he included that. And you don't see like the casual way that people just kind of ignore homeless people too, like in movies very often. And this like totally nailed that. Like that scene where all the like people are protesting, like the kind of the left-leaning younger people in the town are protesting, and then the homeless guy comes and they all just kind of like awkwardly like kind of look around and are uncomfortable. I think that was like a really like,
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
like a few things like that where I'm like, this is like, pretty like really hit the nail on the head. But yeah, so yeah, he's definitely onto something for sure.
Definitely.
Uh,
Um, can we cut right here? I need to grab my
Oh
laptop
yeah.
charger. Give
yeah,
Yeah,
for
me
sure.
for
For
sure, for
sure.
sure.
I need a couple seconds. Be right back.
No worries.
Yeah, no, I thought Eddington was a good watch though. I the big tech kind of data center thing too, I felt like was pretty real. It's kind of like like
Yeah.
who they're kind of the main ones who kind of win with a lot of this activity online, right? Because it
Y-
just is more engagement on their platforms or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Like they don't care about what it's doing to all the people in the town and how it's disconnecting them from each other in all these different ways. It's like they just don't even think about it.
Yeah,
Or if they do think about it, they don't care. Or they think it's like, oh, well, if it leads to more engagement, like it's fine. Like there's no thought of what the ultimate end effect is on just like people.
yeah. I'm so confused, man. I got a new phone and it's making all these noises.
Let me get some water. Actually, I'll be right back.
Okay. It's still iPhone, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, did David end up winning the fantasy?
Yeah, you won.
So is there a cash prize
No, we never
or
do
no?
prize. It's just bragging rights, whatever.
I see.
Maybe we should start. Oh, you know what? We know we did do a prize last year because I won. I got like $200, but it was like a low buy. I think it was $10 buy-in or something, or
I
maybe
see.
20. But we didn't do one this year because like certain people were like didn't want to.
Yeah. Dude, I protested like in my league we raised the buy-in and I was like so against it and then I ended up winning
You
the
won.
league. So like
Yeah,
it actually ended up being so nice,
yeah,
man.
yeah, yeah.
Because, dude, we made it like we literally made it like $75, bro. And
That's
like I was
high.
like, this is ridiculous. Like I felt
Yeah,
like, oh my God, I'm just throwing $75 away because I'm not gonna win.
yeah.
Like and then I like did win it. So I'm like actually so happy we did it now.
Nice. All right.
All right, we're back.
All
Okay.
right.
I
So I
think
guess
that was your number
number
five, right, Bobby? Eddington was your
yeah.
five. Okay. 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 So I'll do my five real quick. My number five was the horror movie Bring Her Back, which, dude, this movie, like, when I got out of the theater, I was like exhausted. It's a real, like, I don't know. It's an emotional roller coaster for sure. Directed by Danny and Michael Philippou, the guys who did Talk to Me, the movie with the hand. I know Bobby, I remember we saw that at the theater. Um, I don't know, just like really heavy movie, super entertaining, very scary, very like super disturbing. There's just a feeling you get watching it the whole time that just like unrelenting, that doesn't stop, which like I mentioned before with Ari Aster, I think works really well in a horror movie. Like I felt like I could never leave my guard down, but not in a bad way. I just like, I was locked in the entire time. It is like one of these sort of trauma-based horror movies that's like also like along with the horror, there's like a very real like tragic kind of, underlying theme there too, which in general I feel like has sort of gotten oversaturated in the horror genre, but I think still pulls it off really well in this one. Pretty original. I definitely couldn't predict what was going to happen, and yeah, I think the main actress is blind. It's like this blind teenage girl, and I thought she did a super good job. I was, yeah, very emotionally affected by her performance, I thought. Only negative thing I will say is my friend spilled, like he had his kombucha sitting next to me and he opened it, he spilled it like all over me. And then I smelled like kombucha the entire time. It smelled like really bad, like pickle
I,
juice.
No.
I
But
bet that added to the horror aspect.
yeah,
Just
yeah,
who
yeah.
takes kombucha? Is that do they?
Dude, I know he had me smuggle it in for him too because he like didn't have a jacket. And I
Oh.
smuggled him and then he opened it and it just spilled like all over me.
That is the
And it
worst.
sucked.
I think that's probably the worst snack or drink to take
Probably, yeah. It
to the
smells so
movies.
like sour.
Oh
Worst
God.
snack in general, man.
And
Oh,
kombucha.
Yeah, I know. Ridiculous.
That's just Cali things. Stuff
Yeah.
you'll find in Cali.
Yeah, that's common in California.
seriously.
Everyone's just sneaking their kombucha into the movie theaters all the time.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Sneaking your kombucha in your Tesla. Um, Okay, so I think we're at four now. I'll go on this one. It's another brief one. It's another superhero film that came out this year. Super anticipated for just to see the direction it was going in, and it was Superman, directed by James Gunn. Um, I am, they rebooted the Zack Snyder DC. Um, I wasn't a big fan of that DC with their what was it, um
And Affleck.
Ben Affleck is Batman, and there that's Superman. I forget his name. Um, but this movie, I loved. Going into the theater, I had super high hopes for, and I left, ecstatic. Um, Brings me back to that kind of like what Superman's supposed to be. And I'm really happy the main guy, David Cornsweet, he had this role because he was super excited to play. You can see it from his interviews. Just made you hopeful again for superhero movies because I left the theater feeling like a kid again, and that hasn't happened in so long, especially when watching these movies. So excited to see what they do with the sequel that's supposed to come out, I believe, um, next year in 2027 to be exact. I think they start filming soon. Um, but really good movie, really good themes of hope and never giving up. Everything that Superman is. Highly recommend if y'all haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, I
What
gotta
about
see that. I still haven't seen
yeah,
it. Bobby, what you got?
I have we're on number four now.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I have Nuremberg is number four. Uh, I know you mentioned some people are maybe upset over historical inaccuracies. I personally am not too read up on the subject, so forgive me any, history heads when I say I love this movie. I think it was an awesome movie. I feel like it's a type of movie we really don't get anymore. Like, where it's like a historical movie. It's not a movie that's too obsessed with the idea of being artsy or profound, but yet it is very profound, I think. Kind of not only the history itself being very interesting, but also some very powerful scenes, such as a scene with what I think was real Holocaust footage of, people starved, people in all sorts of horrible shape, bodies being bulldozed, etc. I think it really captured the horrors of the Holocaust, which I think kind of made the messages present with the, putting these guys on trial, uh, and showing some humanity towards them made it much more profound because we saw like these aren't everyday criminals that were on trial. These were really some of the worst guys in history, yet, they're kind of given a fair trial and treatment, all of that, which I think was interesting. You know, I think in modern day, like we're kind of in a world that I think is showing kind of very little empathy right now, where I think having a movie where you kind of saw a display of empathy, but also justice, where these guys were brought, you know, punishment and everything. I think it was really good. I think what's his name played the main Nazi guy. I think did an incredible job. I think Rami Malek did a good job. Honestly, I liked the quips. Sumi. Uh,
Yeah, why not?
I thought the quips were awesome. Yeah, yeah, really good movie. Like, yeah.
To your point, Bobby, I think this movie feels like something, especially in our day and age, that would come out straight to streaming. And the fact that this one had a theatrical release just kind of, you know, felt it was for sure not a movie I would have even seen, myself without y'all telling me to go watch it, or even, in the theaters or even in streaming. And I think um, it being in theaters made it a little bit more special for sure too. Like seeing it in the big screen, seeing, kind of like you mentioned, like the Holocaust, like really up there, like really put it into perspective of how insane that thing was. Um, and yeah, sharing that space with y'all, especially watching the movie was really cool. So yeah.
Yeah. Just going back to, I think my favorite quip in the movie is when they're going to see the Pope to try to get his blessing, and they're like in the
Oh
Vatican, and the one guy goes like, "Jesus Christ," and the other guy's like, "Literally." That part's
yeah.
awesome. The part made me laugh.
Yeah.
Uh, but but yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, it's a good movie, underrated. Um,
Definitely.
Not even a quip, but I love when the guy's like flirting with the girl at the bar, and then he like wakes up the next morning with the newspaper in his hand, and he's like, ah, you know what I'm talking
yeah,
about?
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I like that scene a lot too.
Yeah. All right. My number four, also one that was already mentioned. It's Weapons. Also love Barbarian. I know we all saw that one together. I was definitely anticipating this one a lot. And honestly, I feel like it exactly lived up to the hype. I thought, like Bobby mentioned, the mystery before is definitely the best part when you don't know what's going on, but you just know the kids are gone and nobody knows why, and everyone's kind of blaming each other. Everyone has their own theories that don't even really make sense, but they're just so desperate to have some explanation that they're, just taking it out on each other. I thought that part was like really interesting to watch. I do think once it's kind of revealed what's going on, it loses a little bit of its punch. And because I just think it was like built up so well that almost no explanation would have been really lived up to like how well it was set up. Because like that's what made it so scary was that there's no real good solution for it, I guess. But the main thing I liked about this movie was that it was like really funny where, sometimes it's like, oh, it's a horror movie. It's got to be really scary the whole time. And sometimes that really works. But this one I thought had some legitimately hilarious moments, including the very end of the movie. Without spoiling anything, just there's a one scene particularly where it just goes kind of full on comedy after the climax that I thought was like worked really well. And yeah, I like this guy, the director, writer, Zach Kreger. I like because he is like I know he has like a sketch comedy background, and I feel like it comes through in his movies. It's kind of like, Jordan Peele or one of these guys who can blend multiple genres together really well. So really like that one.
Nice. Nice. Um, all right, we're in the top three now, right? Right. We need Bobby. This is where you insert the dramatic music. This is where you enter the top three of the year. Um, I can go with number three. I can start it off. Mine is one that's kind of been mentioned earlier. Mickey 17. It was probably one of my favorite movies of the year. I am a big Pattinson guy. Love Robert. I think he did. I think he, when we talked about actors' ability to just kind of be, very diverse and have range. I think this movie, really defined Robert Pattinson in terms of what he can do. He's just not, he's not just another Twilight vampire guy.
Yeah.
So I think it was really good. I hope they don't mess it up. Bong Joon Ho, really love that guy's stuff. Parasite was awesome, so I was really excited about this movie. I think it probably doesn't, Parasite and Mickey 17 are two different movies, so it's hard to compare. But pretty much apples to oranges in terms of these two movies. So I think seeing him do a little bit more of a comedy style is interesting, and the whole sci-fi appeal kind of solidified it for me as like up there. And I also like do love Stephen Yoon's performance. I think it was super in the ads, and I'm a big Steve Yoon guy too. So Really fun movie overall. I left the theater happy and in a good mood about it.
Nice. Okay. I'll do mine. My number three. Don't need to say much because we just talked about it. Was Wake Up Dead Man, the third Knives Out movie. Obviously we had a lengthy discussion on it, so all I'll say is really enjoyed it. They should keep making Knives Out movies. I like them. I approve. That's it.
So I concur with Joe on this one. My number three is also Wake Up Dead Man, Knives Out. I love this movie. Amazing who done it. Uh, like what I felt like were surprisingly complex themes, or not like when I say surprisingly, I just mean like for the type of like who done it thing. I normally don't associate a who done it with having these crazy themes and stuff, and yet it had them, communicated them well while also having that comedic punch. Amazing movie. Watch we'll put a link right here maybe to watch our in-depth review and discussion of Wake Up Dead Man.
Nice.
Nice. I, you know, I'll go next with second because it ties in directly to you guys. I actually have a very close two-way tie. Hopefully, this isn't cheating. With Wake Up Dead Man, and 28 years later. Uh,
Awesome.
Wow.
it's
Nice.
it's I'm cheating a little bit here. Sorry, guys, I'm breaking the rules, but two movies that um, I'll start with Wake Up Dead Man. You can see my full length review thoughts on that link. Click that link down below. But I love the series. Daniel Radcliffe, super good actor. Really does it for me with the accent. It's awesome. It's funny. Better the one of the the best of the series in my opinion. Um, 28 years later, kind of to Bobby's point, I've actually, funny enough, I've never seen 28 days later. I've been meaning to watch it, but it's stuck behind a paywall, which I've been meaning to buy. But so kind of going into this movie, knowing nothing about it, really solid movie. I love zombie movies. Um, it's probably up there in terms of one of the best zombie movies. Probably maybe behind Shaun of the Dead. I'm not sure if y'all ever seen that movie. It's super good zombie movie. Um, I love Aaron Taylor Johnson's performance in the movie. He needed a pickup after how bad Craven the Hunter was last year. Really bad Spider-Man spinoff movie. But yeah, no, the zombies were really cool. The crazy thing was I put it up here after I found out that it was pretty much shot with like an iPhone,
Mhm.
which was insane. I'm not sure if y'all knew that. It was
That's
filmed pretty
cool.
much all entirely on the iPhone. Um, so just kind of like that guerrilla style movie making, I love. Super excited for Bone Temple coming out next year.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, that's those are my number two spots. Two number twos.
When does Bone Temple come out, man?
I
Because
think
no
it's
lie,
supposed to.
I'd be
I think it's supposed to come out
January
this.
16th.
Oh, I thought it was this
Nice.
summer, dude. We gotta link up
Dude,
to
I'll
watch that.
I'll come down to Austin to watch that, man. Because
Okay.
I loved part one of this.
Oh yeah,
And like, dude, you like you should really watch 28 Days Later, man.
I think I'm gonna
Like
do it.
it's so good.
I just need to. I'm always forgetting to, and then um, Prime is really good about putting movies, to watch. And there's so much to watch right now with shows and everything. So it's always been in the backlog of like, oh, I gotta watch it. I gotta watch this. Um, but yeah, no, I think I'll probably watch it by the time we watch Bone Temple.
Yeah. And not to I don't know, we should that I may be the asshole for doing this, but maybe we should make that one of the reviews. I know it's like a little far out in the future, but I think it would be a good one to discuss too, because I feel
Bone Temple
like
or Days.
the the Bone Temple.
Okay, yeah, yeah. No,
Or honestly both, man. I mean, I think Bone Temple when it comes out, because it seems like you and me, David, at least, man, if we both loved the first one.
yeah.
So
Let's
like
do it. I think we should.
yeah.
Agreed. We should do a review And then is it? It's gonna be a full length movie, right? It's a
Yeah,
full. Okay, maybe we can review days later or two, and just kind of the whole series. Because there's also a months later, right? 28 months
yeah.
later.
So there's 28 days later, 28 weeks, and then 28 years.
Wow.
There's there's some weird shit on Amazon Prime called 28 months after, but it is not in the series. Don't
Yeah.
watch it. I think it's like supposedly like really bad.
Oh my
Like
God.
yeah,
Yeah.
don't be fooled if you see 28 months after. Don't, like
Thanks for the warning. Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
probably next weekend or so. I'll probably just watch all of them
Nice.
in preparation for it.
I gotta watch those. I've only seen 28 Days Later. I haven't seen the new one yet, so I gotta watch that. But I'm down. I'm down to do that. I'm down to
Let's do
do
it.
the Bone Temple. So yeah. All right, Bobby. What'd you have? Is your number two?
so I have a movie that has not been mentioned at all yet, and I'm a little surprised it hasn't been mentioned. The F1 movie
Hmm.
I have as number
Mm.
two. Did either of y'all watch it?
I
Nope.
actually didn't get a chance to watch it. I was going to, but then some. I think I was supposed to watch it with my sister, but then plans fell through. But it
I
looked
see,
really
I see.
good. I think they filmed some of it in Austin, if I'm not mistaken.
That makes
Oh shoot,
sense.
yeah. Yeah, Circuit of the Americas. Maybe
Yeah,
they filmed it there.
I remember I was working, and yeah, they had mentioned like, oh my God, like Brad Pitt's here. I think they mentioned like a scene or something. I'm not sure, but I was wanting to watch it.
Yeah. It so I feel like one theme that has kind of come up throughout sorry my table's making a bunch right now, but I feel like kind of a thing I've heard said a couple of times. I've also said it a couple of times is, oh, I went into this with high expectations and I was let down. With the F1 movie, I felt like the reverse. I felt like I came in thinking I'm not gonna like this movie, and my I was blown away by it. Uh, the plot, it gets the job done. It's kind of a sports underdog type plot, but the race scenes are truly incredible, I think. I've seen nothing else like them. Like there was one time where I think I seriously made like a noise when something happened, like in the theater, like some crit because the race scenes are just that intense. Uh, I had the pleasure of watching it in theaters, so surround sound, really immersive. I haven't tried watching it on a TV yet, but I hope that's still the case watching it on a TV. Really amazing movie. I think plot can be a little cheesy at times, but the race scenes, I think, more than make up for it.
How does it how does it compare to Rush, the one with Chris Hemsworth and I'm gonna mess up his name. Is it yeah Daniel Bruh?
Oh yeah, the guy from Inglourious Basterds.
Yes, yes, that guy. Have you? Did you ever get to
Uh,
see that one, Bobby?
yeah, I think we may have watched Rush one time back in like college together,
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah,
I think it was
at
with
our
y'all.
apartment. Yeah.
Yep.
But like compared to Rush, I'd say actual like plot is maybe a little less interesting than Rush. But I think the race scenes are like miles ahead, no pun
Yeah.
intended. You know,
Good one.
uh yeah, rim
Nice.
shot.
Nice.
Yeah. But yeah, no, love the F1 movie. I'd recommend it to anyone, even if you don't feel like the type of guy who likes that type of movie. I'd still recommend.
Sweet.
Nice. Joe,
Yeah.
what's your number
I
two?
gotta watch F1 actually. That sounds good. There's so many I missed. I gotta catch up. I feel like so many movies came out this year that I
Oh
just like
yeah.
slipped under the radar. My number two is one I also haven't heard mentioned yet, and that's Begonia, directed by
Ooh.
Yorgos Lanthimos. He's kind of like one of my favorite directors. I've seen like almost all of his movies, everything since Dogtooth, I believe I've seen, and I've liked pretty much all of them. This one was pretty interesting. I know it's adapted from a Korean movie called Save the Green Planet, so it's not an original screenplay, which I know Poor Things and The Favorite, I believe, were also not. They were also both adapted, so it's kind of his. It seems like he's sort of transitioning to adapting more stuff. But I thought it was, I don't know, this one was. I wasn't even sure how I felt about it, like three-quarters into the movie. I think this is, to me, his most disturbing movie yet. And there's like one pivotal moment about maybe a little more than halfway through the movie that really like kind of caught me off guard, and I was pretty like disturbed by it. And I'm like, man, this might be like the point where he goes too far over the edge and like loses me. But then the ending is just like amazing. It like ties everything together. I felt like it really like defined how I felt about the movie. And also just kind of, I don't know, it's an interesting thing where I don't want to spoil too much, but it's kind of like for the universe, like the entire world within the movie, the ending is like a bad thing, but like for a few of the characters, there's kind of a silver lining for them. And I've like cared more about that than about whatever bad stuff was happening to the rest of the world. So it's kind of like, I don't know. I feel like I like when movies do that. That's like how they had like good characters and a good story is if it can make you feel, happy for them, even though something bad. It's kind of like in Last of Us, when he like
Mm.
saves Ellie at the end of the first one, kind of similar vibes to that movie. And also I think this Jesse Plemons is the best thing I've ever seen him in. He just like kills it in this. And Emma Stone obviously like commits so hard. She's bald. She's like, you know, trapped in a basement. I feel like she really commits hard. And then the other like main, like the third lead is this guy. I think it's like his first movie, and he's autistic, and his character is just like so good. He does such a good job. He doesn't seem to be struggling, even though he's with like these two super famous actors. He really holds his own. I thought everyone just kind of killed it. Super unique movie. So yeah, it's my number two.
Joe, you would say that's more disturbing than like Poor Things?
Yeah, honestly, yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
I've been meaning to watch it. I was actually gonna watch it today. Um, because it looked really good. So I'm excited to watch it. I'll have to watch it this weekend.
hmm Yeah, it's not disturbing necessarily in like a gross out way or like like the actual stuff that happens is disturbing, but just like how it makes you feel is like pretty like fucked up a few times. Like I
Mhm.
felt like fuck, dude. This is like pretty, I don't know, intense. But
It's
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, I still need to see that one. I low-key got like a big part of it spoiled for me by someone who's made me kind of like,
Ah,
oh, but now I need to
Yeah.
like at this point I feel like I just want to watch it anyways, because
Yeah,
it
I think
seems really good.
it's still worth watching. Like I would watch it again even though I know everything that happens. So yeah.
all right. Is
Well,
this
I
is this
guess
it? Are we
number one.
are we at number one? Oh my God.
This is big.
This is huge. Do we want to do like a reveal or something? Well, I guess no, everyone should just go individually and do
Yeah.
it. Yeah, let's do Bobby. What was your number one?
My number one is one that has not been mentioned yet. Although I do have a feeling it may also be Joe's number one.
Yeah,
One Battle After Another is my number one, the new Paul Thomas Anderson movie from this year. Uh, Going into this movie, didn't know what to think. And honestly, even like 10 minutes in, I didn't know what to think. But I loved this movie. Really funny characters throughout the movie, a really compelling story. And I feel like we live in an age, and I know maybe some of my reviews of movies made it seem like we don't live in an age like this. I don't know. But I feel like we live in an age where like so many things are political in terms of movies, etc., but really fail to make any sort of real statement a lot of the time. And I felt like this movie was not that at all. I felt like this was a movie that was very clear, kind of in its political ideas, but really was very kind of like pushed it forward. I don't know what else to say. But amazing characters, amazing action, villains you hate, villains you love. Uh, it really, yeah, just an amazing movie.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll go next since yeah, I did have the same number one. Totally agree. This is just in terms of theaters, this is definitely the best theater going movie experience I've had since I want to say like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, all the way back before COVID. Like this is just like super fun movie. Everyone was like into it. Action packed, but without like it's not like shallow or just like for the spectacle of it. It's all related to the story. But I think he did a really good job. Like a lot of Paul Thomas Anderson's movies seem pretty serious or pretty, you know, heavy, but this one, like, it had things to say, but was also just like fun to watch. It was kind of just like a block. It functions also just as like a blockbuster movie by itself. All the performances were awesome. Leo, super good. Sean Penn was like amazing as a villain, and Chase Infinity, the daughter, I thought she was really good. And just like totally like I could watch this. I still haven't seen it again. I've only seen it once, but I feel like it's one that I'll definitely watch again. So. Yeah, definitely really liked it. Definitely my favorite movie of the year.
It's like the one big movie I did not catch up on, and I feel left out. um, Man, yeah, I really wanted to watch it. But I'm actually, my number one is, I'm actually surprised it hasn't been brought up yet. It's Ryan Coogler's Sinners.
Mm,
Man, I unfortunately did not watch it in theaters, and that's a movie that I'm watching it on the TV, and I was like, this should have been, I should have been there release day. Michael B. Jordan's performances, he plays himself twice pretty much. And it's really good. I just something about like um those like Southeast movies where they're like, you know, back in the day, kind of like Django and Chain, just kind of like that like rawness of it of the Southeast a little bit, kind of like Louisiana, that time period. It's really interesting that you can do with it. Ryan Coogler just kind of took this to a whole nother level. Um, it's funny because like the movie only takes place really in like two spots. Um, Most of it, I hope this isn't a spoiler, but most of it is in a barn. Um, and yeah, it just has you leaving, after watching the movie, it just felt like um, a fun experience. Really paying homage to the blues, to the time period, um, and just kind of like it's a vampire movie. You kind of forget about that until like you're watching probably about halfway into it. You're like, oh my god, I forgot this is a vampire movie, but it is, and it's done really well. It's not especially in our day and age where a vampire movie has been a little bit like cheesy. This is done really well. Has that horror element in it. Um, but yeah, that's got to be my number one.
yeah, that's good you saw that because that's one Bobby and I both have not seen that I feel like
Yeah.
is on like everyone's favorite movie list. Like, damn it. So glad one
Yeah,
of us actually saw it.
it's funny. Our number ones have been the ones that we just haven't seen this
Yeah,
year.
I know.
2026, we just got to make it the year we watch every single movie
Yeah.
that
Yes,
comes out.
seriously.
That's New Year's goal is to watch every single movie that comes out in
But
theaters specifically, so you don't miss out.
I mean, who knows, man? This podcast takes off. Maybe we all become like multimillionaires and it just becomes our job to watch
To
movies,
watch
you
movies.
know?
Yeah,
That would be awesome.
that's
That
the
would be the
dream.
day.
Uh,
Okay, so I'm gonna pull up a list of movies. Um, just kind of have it in the background here. But what are you guys excited for 2026? Have
Ooh.
y'all seen, kind of the releases? It's supposed to be a stacked year for movies. I think this will for sure beat 2025 in terms of, big theatrical releases. Um, so yeah, what are you guys excited for? Any movies that, jumps immediately you're buying tickets for the moment they come out?
I can think of a couple. I mean, Bone Temple. I
Hmm.
think 28 years later is gonna be big. I think the Odyssey, Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey, I believe, is coming out 2026. I think
Yeah.
that's gonna be huge. Super excited to see that. Love most of Christopher Nolan's films. Uh, what other movies are coming out?
You have Dune 3. Um,
Ooh, yeah.
you've got, it's funny, I think Netflix is coming out with a Peaky Blinders movie. So those of you who have kept up with the Peaky Blinders drama, definitely want to keep an eye on. Let's see. Um, there's supposed to be a new Tom Cruise movie coming out too, called Digger.
Oh
It's
yeah.
play on the video game. There's the new Hunger Games movie, the new Supergirl movie. Wuthering Heights, I've heard it's supposed to be good.
Mm, yeah.
It's got Margot Robbie in it.
Jacob
Um,
Elordi.
mhm. And then two movies, I think Sam Raimi's Send Help, and then Gerda Gerwig's Narnia, which
Oh,
Ooh.
I've not seen her mentioned a lot, but Narnia is supposed to come out, which I'm super excited for. I'm not sure if y'all ever watched the ones that came out in the late 2000s, early 2010s.
Yeah.
yeah.
The Lion, the
And
Witch, and the Wardrobe. Man, that talk about a goated movie.
Yeah.
As a little Christian boy, that movie was one of the only movies we could really, buy on DVD, and we watched the heck out
Nice.
of.
Classic.
So I'm excited for that one to come out.
well,
Gerwig's version.
what's the dessert they eat in that movie? I remember as a kid being like kind of captured by forget there's like some dessert that they eat
I
and
don't
like
remember.
thinking
Let me
gonna
see.
look up
I don't remember.
dessert from Narnia. Oh,
Oh, the
Turkish
Turkish
delight.
delights.
Oh,
Yes.
those.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Those are good.
remember now.
yeah. I remember like looking at those and being like, it must be so good, you
Have
know?
you
Right.
have you had them?
I actually now have had Turkish delight, and it is pretty good.
Yeah, they're good. Weird texture, but they're good.
Yeah. Is does Robert Eggers have any new movies coming out
Oh,
2026?
Werewolf. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So is he doing like a Monsters Universe kind of thing? Is he going full in on like the classical monsters from back in the day?
Kind of seems like it. Yeah, or at
Yeah.
least with Nosferatu and then Werewolf. Seems like he's going in a
Yeah.
horror monster
Do
direction.
y'all remember they
Yeah.
tried to reboot the Monster Universe? I think it was called because back in the day, what was it? Was it MGM or Warner Bros. One of those studios? They made like all the Dracula movies, all the Frankenstein movies. Um, that was like the big thing back in the day. That would be like an Avengers kind of movie was when they made um, the monster movies. So then they what was it? I think it was like the 2010s when they made oh my god, what was that one? The Scorpion? No, it was Scorpion. I'm not too sure. Um, but they made a couple mummy movies. Um, they tried to make a whole universe, kind of like a cinematic universe, like DC and Marvel had done. So it'd be funny if they aren't have told Eggers to do something like that.
Yeah, the Eggers verse.
The Eggers,
The Eggverse. Yeah.
Eggers.
The does the new Batman movie come out in
Oh,
2026?
yeah.
I think so.
Clayface. Um, it's I don't know what it's so it's about one of the villains from the Batman Rogues Gallery. It's supposed to be like a I think it's a part of the DC universe because I know they're making, the Batman Part Two, which is a sequel to Robert Pattinson's Batman. I think they're filming soon, if not already. Um, but Clayface is the James Gunn DC. So there's two
I
DCs
see.
going on right now, and
Gotcha.
I completely forgot. But yeah, Clayface. They're making they're felt there should be in wrapping up, or if not already wrapped up. Um,
Nice.
but yeah, that sounds like a good movie.
Sweet.
Uh, I'm looking at other movies that are coming out in 2026. Looks like there's a Michael Jackson biopic.
Oh
Hmm.
yeah, I've seen trailers
Uh,
for that.
I feel like that should be good. Sorry, I'm a little cold right now.
You're good.
Uh,
All right.
looks
Honestly,
like
sorry, I gotta head out in like
oh,
2 minutes or like 1 minute probably. But yeah. If what were you gonna say? You got another movie?
honestly, nah.
Okay, okay.
Awesome podcast, boys. Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
love everyone in the audience, man. Thank you so much for your support. We're really excited by the growth we've seen.
Yeah. Drop your top
And
10 in the comments
I,
of best movies of 2025 in the comments. And who knows, maybe one day next year or the year after, you'll be on the pod giving us your top 10.
um,
Yeah.
But
if
All
alrighty.
right.
if any of y'all live in should I say
No,
what
No,
cities we live in? Okay,
don't do
no. I was
yeah.
gonna say we could do
S-
a fan meetup or something, but I don't know.
it.
You could give them your street
Yeah.
address, like your home
Yeah.
address.
Give them your P.O. box number that they
Yeah.
can send wonderful presents
Oh
to.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's good.
If if anyone
And
wants to say hi to Joe, here's his
Yeah.
address.
Yeah. Yeah, my house is open anytime. If you need like a couch to crash on or anything, just come through. All
all right,
All
well,
right,
good
well,
pod, boys.
I'll
Awesome.
I'll stop recording.
right. Okay.